piss.
I have a theory.
Oh, dear.
A theorem.
Oh, boy.
You're not gonna like it.
Oh, God. I know. When do I like it?
Last week's happy hour when I hit you with a good theorem.
Okay, that's true. Fuck you.
Go to patreon.com/dimecomicbros network. Become a patron. Find out what I was talking about.
We solved a pernicious issue within the D&D community. Sort of.
It's a secret.
It's not, but okay.
That they must pay us for. Because I'm smart.
The topics are listed publicly.
My theory, my new theory, is that J.K. Rowling wanted to be a sports journalist.
Oh, God.
But she couldn't get hired because her journalism skills sucked.
True.
So she coated her sports opinions in fantasy frosting. And it still sucks. But, like, there's so many different sports ball events in the Harry Potter series, as far as I've listened to. And it's like, it seems like it's coming from someone that really cares about sports ball, but has no idea what the fuck they're talking about.
I mean, that's true, because Quidditch is a horrible game that makes no sense.
Yes.
Sure. I thought you meant more like in real life, because all she wants to talk about now is women's sports, you know, and won't shut up about that, but, you know.
No, I wasn't getting into that.
Yeah.
I think she just wants to care about sport ball, but doesn't know what she's talking about.
Who knows? Do billionaires even know that sports exist?
Yes, they buy sport teams.
That's true.
And then hire other people to manage them for them.
Yeah.
They just show up and they go, hey, this is my team.
It's true.
Who's playing?
Everybody pose for a photo.
Yes.
Why were you coming that would cause more than a day? Coming the brothers who are here to wish you joy.
Welcome back to Dime Comic Bros, where we talk about stuff. This podcast gets more and more derailed every episode.
That was a stroke. I just watched it happen in slow motion.
No, I'm just that slow normally. Every week, as time has gone on, we stray further and further from God.
It's true. I can't even argue that one.
We're typically talking about comic books. And
who are you?
I'm Spencer.
Hi, Spencer.
I've been sober for 4 weeks.
No, you just said that you crushed a 2-pack in the car on the way here.
Hey, man. She said that she had her license taken away for drinking and driving. I couldn't help but fall in love with her. Okay? Don't judge me. Typically, we talk about comic books and their associated stuff. I am special.
That's true, too.
You're the kind of sane one. And Colin is not here because we're talking about news, and Colin hates the news.
Colin doesn't like coming to the show anymore.
That is also true, but did he ever enjoy coming to this show?
That 1 week that the Batman was new.
That is true. When we talked about the initial teaser trailer when it came out during the what was that? DC's Fandome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that trailer I do still go back and watch. That thing is insanely good.
I'm going to start with the news. From HollywoodReporter.com, HBO's DC series Lanterns has found its Hal Jordan. Emmy winner Kyle Chandler is set to play the legendary member of the Green Lantern Corps in the series, sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. The show will be the first series role for the Friday Night Lights star since Showtime's 2022 drama Super Pumped. Lanterns, which scored a straight-to-series order in June after years of development, comes from Chris Mundy, who made Ozark, and Damon Lindelof, who made Watchmen and Lost, and Eisner Award-winning comics writer Tom King, because of course.
He worked for the CIA, didn't you know?
The trio are co-writing and executive producing the series, with Mundy serving as showrunner. Lanterns is described as having a gritty, true detective vibe, as it focuses on Jordan reluctantly mentoring a younger Lantern, John Stewart, who in DC publishing history was one of the company's first black superheroes. The story sees the two characters investigating an earthbound murder with larger implications. Sources say that DC and the producers are looking for a young, more fresh-faced actor for the role to play opposite an older and bigger name. Chandler became a name thanks to his Emmy-winning turn as Coach Eric Taylor in the beloved Friday Night Lights television series that aired on NBC from 2006 to 2011. He returned to series work with the Netflix thriller Bloodline, which earned him 2 Emmy nominations. In recent years, he's popped up in movies big and small, among them Godzilla King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong, as well as Damien Chazelle's Neil Armstrong biopic First Man. I don't know this guy at all.
I do. I think it's fine. The one thing with this, there's a bunch of like casting rumors and half publicized announcements like for the past couple of weeks about this, and like all of the other names that they had listed and stuff. The one thing that is kind of disappointing, I think, is that I couldn't find much to substantiate it, but it looks like they only are giving him a contract for this series, which means he's gotta die.
Oof.
Which means that they're probably, I don't know, I don't love the direction of taking the character in that direction. I get why they want to. Hal Jordan's not actually boring if you know what to do with him, but such is life. I quite liked him in Friday Night Lights, which is a show way outside of my usual like realm of enjoyment.
Yeah, I haven't even seen it.
Yeah. So it makes sense. It also makes sense to try to go with a more substantiated actor and then go with a newer face for the Brain, Jon Stewart, who's gonna probably just be the main Green Lantern moving forward for the universe. It makes sense. From Marvel.com, careful who you assemble. Marvel Studios has released the first teaser trailer and poster for the upcoming feature film Thunderbolts, with an asterisk, uniting the MCU's least anticipated band of misfits. You can say that again. Florence Pugh returns as depressed assassin Yelena Belova, my beloved, and the trailer finds her teaming up with some unlikely faces. The returning I really did have a stroke today. The returning cast includes Bucky Barnes, Red Guardian, John Walker, Taskmaster, Ghost, and Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Lewis Pullman and Geraldine Viswanathan also star. I like the poster a lot.
Isn't Allegra a arthritis pill?
I think you might actually be right. That's weird. I think the poster looked good. You did point out some stuff in the trailer that I hadn't actually noticed looking that rough, because my first impression was that it actually looked pretty fucking good.
Yeah, most of it looks good. There's just one scene in the movie, apparently, where, I'm not going to call it a fight scene, maybe a chase scene, that I thought looked like it was horrible Mandalorian fishbowl technology, but I don't know.
It's weird.
You said that it was on set.
From what I could tell, yeah.
On the Furiosa set, maybe. Ha! Got him.
Oh, shut up. The thing with this that I've maintained since they announced it is just this lineup sounds like a bad idea. It's just repetition. Like, maybe they're trying to make a point with that, but it's missing out on some, very obvious picks for, typical Thunderbolts members that do exist in MCU canon right now, and also just not literally a pile of super soldiers and nothing else. But the visuals actually look pretty solid, color grading wise, and the fight choreography actually looks pretty good. There's a little bit where multiple people throw one knife, and I thought that looked dope as shit. So I'm not excited, but I'm more optimistic than I thought I was gonna be.
I don't think I like that it's Yelena and her mom and dad as half the crew. But I'm excited that
Florence Pugh?
No. Bucky Barnes is on it,
yes.
And the bad Captain America is on it. Hopefully he can reclaim his name or whatever, make a good name for himself.
Doubt.
Yeah, me too. And I'm most excited for Ghost.
Really?
Yes, because I don't remember anything from that movie because it was bad, and she didn't deserve that. It seems like a cool character.
Yeah, Ghost and Taskmaster are the two ones that why.
Yeah.
But also their new outfits look pretty good. So I'm interested.
Hoping that she can make a good name for herself and be like, oh, actually, that's a really cool character because of Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
so.
that'd be neat. And then I'm still disappointed that Stephen Young is not going to be playing Sentry, and they had to go with somebody else because of like scheduling or whatever. But the guy they picked seems fine. Like whatever. So I don't know.
It comes out in May of 25.
Yeah.
You will be sick of this commercial by February.
I was gonna say December, but because I'm already getting sick of the Brave New World trailer, and I thought that was a really good fucking trailer, and I'm already getting tired of that.
Well, if you didn't see every single cinema release ever this year,
you can't take it away from me.
That means I'm right.
Vish. Vorse.
From Marvel.com, Eddie Brock is back in Venom: The Last Dance. Tom Hardy returns as Venom, one of Marvel's greatest and most complex characters, for the final film in the trilogy. Eddie and Venom are on the run, hunted by both of their worlds, and with the net closing in, the duo are forced into a devastating decision that will bring the curtains down on Venom and Eddie's last dance. Venom: The Last Dance stars Tom Hardy.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Thank you. Juno Temple, Reese Ifans, Peggy Lou, Alana Ubach, and Stephen Graham. The film is directed by Kelly Marcel from a screenplay she wrote based on a story by Hardy and Marcel.
Canal.
I'm confused because they're saying this is the end of a trilogy and it's bringing in Canal. It sounds like a bad idea. Canal is not a villain that you just do one quick movie with.
I just want Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman to get paid for it. This movie, I think, has grown in its self-awareness of its own stupidity. I will give it that. Probably because Tom Hardy is the co-writer.
I have low expectations.
Oh, my expectations are on the floor. But
I have a feeling 2 will be the best of the trilogy.
Maybe.
And everybody's going to argue it.
I don't know, man. Venom horse. Venom fish.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't get them out of my head. They're just stuck there.
So that's what you've been talking about?
Yes. There's a venomized fish, and there's a venomized horse. Admittedly, the horse is just, like, unironically cool. But
when you were saying Vish, I thought you were, like, cutting Phil Vischer's name way down short, and I was like, what does this have to do with that guy?
Vish. He's got a big smile.
Yeah.
Big tongue.
Yep.
Do fish have tongues? I think some fish have tongues.
Yes.
From StarWars.com, everyone at Lucasfilm was deeply saddened to learn of the passing of James Earl Jones at the age of 93. For over 4 decades, the stage and screen actor lent his voice to the role of Darth Vader in the Star Wars saga. James Earl Jones is one of the most versatile and talented actors of our time, with an iconic body of work across film, stage, and television, says Kathleen Kennedy. The menacing baritone he brought to Darth Vader will forever be beloved by fans and regarded as one of the great villainous performances in cinema. His commanding presence on screen and warm personality off-screen will be greatly missed. James was an incredible actor, a most unique voice both in art and spirit, says George Lucas. For nearly half a century he was Darth Vader, but the secret to it all was that he was a beautiful human being. He gave depth, sincerity, and meaning to all his roles, amongst the most important being devoted husband to the late Cece and dad to Flynn. James will be missed by so many of us, friends and fans alike. James Earl Jones first crossed paths with Lucasfilm in early 1977 when he was cast to perform the voice of Darth Vader in A New Hope. He'd already been an accomplished actor on stage and screen for decades, with appearances in such classics as Dr. Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, banger movie by the way, a film that influenced writer-director George Lucas. Oof. I didn't expect this one.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't.
I was going to say we've kind of been expecting it for years because it's like, dang, he's really old.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course it stirred up a horrible, stupid debate about AI voices.
Ugh.
Yeah. Because people literally just can't leave it alone. Big suck. This is so dumb, but I think my favorite role of his was actually in The Sandlot. He was like
I've never seen that movie.
You need to fix that. We will fix you. But he plays like a grouchy old neighbor. He's blind or whatever.
He's literally me.
Yes, but he like knew Babe Ruth and whatever. I don't know. It's a very small role, but like I think it does actually give a good example of how like even in a silly kids movie, like he was always giving really good performances. He wasn't just phoning it in. I never got to see any of his stage work, like recordings of it, obviously, but I do want to.
I hold Sandlot on the mental shelf next to Monty Python's Holy Grail, because everybody quotes from it, and I've heard all the quotes. So I feel if I watch the movie, it'll no longer be funny, because I already know all the lines. That's my experience.
You're not wrong.
That's my experience with Holy Grail. It wasn't funny because I already knew it all.
That is a crime. I will find whoever personally quoted Monty Python too much at you and personally execute him.
It's a lot of people. It's a long line of people.
I'm probably near the top of that list. It's probably me.
From CBR.com, John Cassaday, one of the most acclaimed and successful comic book artists of his generation, artist on Astonishing X-Men and co-creator and artist of Planetary, has passed away at age 52. Cassaday was a self-taught artist who attended film school and worked in television news for a while. His first comic book work appeared in 1994 for Hart Fisher's Boneyard Press, and then in a story written by Fisher in Caliber Press's Negative Burn number 28 in 1995. Cassaday began to share his portfolio and started to receive assignments from bigger publishers, including an issue of Ghost for Dark Horse in 96. This led to his biggest comic book assignment yet, as he and Jeff Marriott created the Western series Desperados for Wildstorm Comics, then still known as Homage Comics. He began to work for DC and Marvel during this period, but in 98 he was part of a new line of books by Warren Ellis at Wildstorm, Authority by Ellis and Brian Hitch, and Planetary, about a group of interdimensional archaeologists by Ellis and Cassaday. He continued drawing Planetary throughout this time, but it was on a sporadic schedule, and he was working on a number of other projects. His most prominent during this period was launching Astonishing X-Men with Joss Whedon in 2004. The series won Cassaday 2 Eisner Awards for Best Penciler and Inker.
This is another one that I actually have a personal connection to. That X-Men run is one of the things that got me into comics out the gate.
Dang.
It was one of the first runs that I read it in its entirety, and I actually started to want to understand how the art was made. And then I followed that up by reading Planetary many years later, and that was one of my first, technically it's Big 2 because it's owned by DC, but it's not really Big 2.
It hadn't been when it was written, yes.
Yeah, so that was one of my first, non-superhero books, I guess.
Astonishing X-Men was the first X-Men run that I ever read.
It is definitely one of the best ones to start with.
Trying to start on X-Men, and that's where I started. I was like, holy shit, this is awesome.
Yeah. 52, man. Yikes.
Very young.
That's younger than my parents.
Yeah.
That sucks. From Marvel.com, this January, Sam Wilson takes to the skies once again in a brand new limited series. Co-written by Greg Pak, who's worked on Star Wars Darth Vader, and Evan Narcisse, who's worked on Wakanda, and drawn by artist Eder Messias, Phases of the Moon Knight, and Sam Wilson, Phases of the Moon Knight. Sam Wilson, Captain America, will put Sam to the test and take him to his limit in an all-new high-flying Cap adventure. The new series sets Captain America on a collision course with the Red Hulk after the Winged Avenger uncovers a nefarious plot parading itself as a new tech venture. As both a social worker and a superhero, Sam will reckon with his legacy as Captain America in this super spy thriller. It's going to be a fun, fast, high-octane adventure that also explores what it means to feel locked out of the American dream. I feel pretty confident in saying Sam's never flown through skies like these before, says Narcisse. When explaining his thoughts on the character, he adds, one of the great things about Sam Wilson is that he straddles the line between everyman and superhero in classic Marvel fashion. The core of Better Angels, the first arc of the series, will explore how he navigates the tension and how he and others have expanded the symbolism of the Captain America legacy in a very different way. On the one hand, MCU synergy. On the other hand, really good creative team and a pretty cool approach, but also limited series, which is cringe. So
that was pretty much what I was thinking. It's like, oh wow, a movie tie-in comic that isn't an actual tie-in comic. It's just using the same characters as the movie that'll be coming out at the same time. Weird.
Yes.
But also, it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. It is so weird to be like, yeah, so we're going to give this Captain America a miniseries when it's like, he just came off of like 4 back-to-back-to-back ongoings for the past like 6 years. And like, I think just pretty recently stopped having like an ongoing. I don't know. There's something about that feels weird, but I don't think that has anything to do with this book in particular.
A limited series makes it easier to buy and jump in on.
But also makes it easier to cancel and not do anything with.
From AIPTcomics.com.
We have a lot of articles from them this time around.
Courtesy of Dark Horse Comics, AIPT can exclusively share the news of The Shadow of the Golden Crane, a new Hellboy universe miniseries from Chris Robertson and Michael Avon Oeming. Oeming.
No idea.
The 4-issue series focuses on a mysterious BPRD Case Forces agent Sue Zhang to dive into the history of the secretive Golden Crane Society and her own complicated family history, set to debut on January 15th.
Society!
As far back as Hellboy and the BPRD, 1953, we have teased the idea that there is some connection between Susan Zhang, an agent of the BPRD with psychic abilities, and an organization called the Golden Crane Society, a secret society that protected the people of China from otherworldly threats for centuries. Susan was raised on stories of the Golden Crane, and when she was 7, there was an incident involving her uncle and some Jiangxi, Chinese hopping vampires, that we have so far only caught glimpses of, Robertson said. This is cool.
No Hellboy miniseries, let's go.
I
also like that it's not Matt Smith. I love Matt Smith's art, but I like that they're not just making him do everything.
Yeah.
I think it's good to get other people involved.
Yep.
I've been very slowly chewing my way through the Hellboy and the BPRD stuff because you and Colin were both reading the original BPRD stuff like at the same time.
Yep.
And then I was like, I'm gonna not do that.
Yeah.
So I went for the more recent run, sort of. I'm not up to date on that, but I've been attempting to.
I just hope that they keep Mike doing covers.
I don't think that's ever gonna stop. Especially with he just had 1 or 2 like documentaries come out recently. Like he seems to be very kicking. He's getting his bag. From Marvel.com, Elektra is the deadliest assassin in the Marvel Universe, and this January her vicious talents will be on full display in Daredevil Unleash Hell Red Band. I'll put some red bands on her. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but it's definitely innuendo.
Red Band is the...
I meant me saying it.
Oh.
The 5-issue limited series will be written by Erica Schultz, continuing her work on the character after hit titles like Daredevil Gang War and Daredevil Woman Without Fear. Joining her on this blood-soaked saga will be artist Valentina Pinti from Blade and Immortal Thor. The violence and the occult swirling across the Marvel Universe find their way to Hell's Kitchen, as they always do. As grisly crime scenes start manifesting across the city, all signs point to an impossible perpetrator. Estranged from Matt Murdock, it's up to Elektra to get to the grisly truth if she can stomach it. It's been such a pleasure to continue writing Elektra, especially donning the horns Schultz shared. In this new series, we have the opportunity to show that just because she doesn't kill doesn't mean she won't make you wish she had. Elektra has been known for her brutality, and we'll see that on display here. Also, with a red band rating, that means we can get real nasty with stuff.
Yeah.
You don't know what I mean? You will. Valentina Pinti and I are very excited to show you this new direction. I'm disappointed it's only 5 issues, but it is cool. They're doing the same thing they did with Blade, where they're just like, cool, you want to keep doing it? Make it bloodier.
I still don't know if I should be buying these issues because they're Red Band, or if the Red Band will be collected in trades. I need to know, because there's a lot of Red Band stuff coming out. I
think the first one that we would know would be Blood Hunt, because that was when they tested it out, and also it was released as 2 different versions.
Right.
That's gotta be coming out soon-ish. Maybe like December.
I need to know.
I agree. I'm on Werewolf by Night is on my pull list. It's also cool that they've let her stay in this Daredevil form for, like, 3 years now.
That's because it's good.
Well, I mean, yes, it's good, but, like, they... When the fuck does editorial care if something is good? Like, she came to this form, like, halfway, I think, through the Zdarsky run, maybe 2/3 or whatever, and, like, got her own separate series, and then Zdarsky left the Daredevil book, and then she's been like this for multiple runs, like, back-to-back, and through multiple events, and she's maintained a pretty close level of popularity with the regular Daredevil run. Mm-hmm. So, DC's cool, and the art looks good. I like Pinty.
From AIPTcomics.com.
Haha, you got it again.
I look at the artwork first. DC Comics has revealed that Two-Face is getting his own solo series from creators Christian Ward and Fabio Veras, with colors by Ivan Plasencia and letters by Hassan Asmane El Hawawa. Launching in December 4th, the series is part of DC's All In, exploring Harvey's Perry Mason-like life as an attorney at law and how the bad Harvey doesn't want partial control of the body but full control of the mind. After falling in love with writing the beautiful, complicated Harvey in Batman: City of Madness, said Ward, I couldn't be more excited to be, or prouder, to be writing Two-Face's very first solo series. Two-Face is without any hesitation not just my favorite Batman villain, but my favorite character in all of Gotham, and I'm thrilled to be taking him together with superstar artist in the making Fabio Veras and the legends that are the colorist and letterer to some wild places you might not be expecting, the first of which takes Harvey Dent back to the courtroom.
I like that Christian Ward's getting work that isn't art, because his writing is very good.
Yes.
I like his art more, but I like his writing almost as much, and it's...
City of Madness was incredible.
City of Madness was great.
Did he art that too?
Yeah, he did that whole book.
Yeah.
So him just getting the writing gig on this it's strange but good. Something passion project, something. Also, the art does look fantastic.
Yep.
So I might be getting this one. I just might. This next one I am getting. It's already on my list.
I know.
From yeah, you can always tell. From Marvel.com. Last year in the pages of this terrifying run of Incredible Hulk, writer Philip Kennedy Johnson introduced what the fuck word was that? Sergeant Sal Romero, aka Ghost Rider 44, a spirit of vengeance who raised hell on the battlefields during World War II. This December, his epic backstory is told in Hellhunters, a 5-issue limited series written by Kennedy Johnson and drawn by Adam Gorham, who worked on Immortal Hulk and Star Wars Darth Vader. Some of Marvel's most badass heroes fought on the front lines of World War II, and Hellhunters will see Ghost Rider 44 battle alongside the likes of Wolverine, Nick Carter, Peggy Carter, Bucky Barnes, and from the pages of Jason Aaron's Avengers, Soldier Supreme. 1944. As U.S. Sergeant Sal Romero is parachuting into Nazi-occupied Europe, young Nazi officer Felix Bruckner becomes the host for an unspeakable evil. Let me guess, it's going to be a spirit of vengeance. In the aftermath of their violent meeting, Romero is reborn as Ghost Rider 44, who sets out not only to take revenge on Bruckner and the Nazis, but to save mankind from annihilation. Ghost Rider 44 is definitely my favorite guest star that's appeared in our Incredible Hulk series so far, Kennedy Johnson explained. I had a fully realized origin story for Sergeant Sal Romero in my head before my partner Nick Klein brought him to life with his art, and the character turned out so unbelievably cool and fun, we knew the War Devil arc wouldn't be his last appearance. I like books about killing Nazis. End of fucking point.
But also Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I'm gooning.
So you're going to read it.
Yeah, I'm like triple gooning on this. I wish it wasn't a limited series. 5 issues is not enough.
From DC.com, DC announced a new 12-issue comic book series by creators Dan Waters and Hayden Sherman, Batman: Dark Patterns, focused on a new cycle of crimes for the world's greatest detective to crack. Set during the early years of Batman's career, Batman: Dark Patterns delves into 4 mysterious cases as he attempts to cement his place as Gotham City's protector, while the city itself fights back against him. This is the Dark Knight detective at his most stripped down core, a man relying on his wits, his skills, and little else as he tackles some of the most twisted mysteries Gotham City and its protector have ever encountered. Batman Dark Patterns follows the tradition of books such as Year One, Long Halloween, and Dark Victory. Writer Dan Watters teams up with the incredible Hayden Sherman to tell a series of 3-part standalone mysteries set in the early days of Batman's career. As the detective comes to accept and embrace his own place, we've already read all this. Batman Dark Patterns, number 1, written by Watters, will publish on December 11th.
Oh my. It's a new Batman series? That doesn't sound stupid.
Because he's stripped down to his core. Is that why you're fanning yourself off?
No, I was more doing it because it looks really good. And I have a massive writer's crush on Dan Watters. He's really fucking smart. This looks really cool. I sent it to Colin. I was like, hey, you might actually like this. And he went, mayhaps, which means he likes it. Something, detective stories, something. They're evergreen. They want them to be a nice little timeless bubble. Yeah. Something. This is all good.
Yeah. Actually, Detective Comics.
Detective Comics when Detective Comics.
Yes.
DC Detective Comics.
Yes.
From Marvel.com. This January, mutant icon Magic, with a K, headlines her first ongoing solo series. The X-Men's resident sorcerer will unleash her soul sword spells and dark side against mystical threats targeting the mutant community. Magic will be written by rising star Ashley Allen, who wrote the character earlier this year in X-Men Blood Hunt Magic, with a K, and drawn by acclaimed artist Germán Peralta, known for his recent work on Black Panther and last year's Loki series. From Colossus's kid sister to New Mutant, Ilyana Rasputin has claimed... oh my gosh!
Rasputina.
That's so retarded.
Yep.
That's not right. It's wrong. I think it's wrong. Don't care. Has climbed the ranks over the years to become the fiercest X-Men of them all, and her long overdue solo adventures will see her tap into her mystical expertise and unique mutant magic like never before. The mystic mutant goes demon hunting in her own series. The X-Man strikes out on her own with new allies and dark powers. Awaken some ancient evil by it. I like Magic. The cover looked good. I liked his character. I can't believe she's never had a solo run.
Yeah.
That's
very strange.
That's overdue is definitely a statement.
From DC.com, DC announced new ongoing all-in comic book series by creators Al Ewing and Steve Lieber, Metamorpho: The Element Man. That fab freak who can change himself into any element in the human body. It's such a joy to work on this book with these collaborators. Shared Lieber Al Ewing's scripts are an absolute delight, and Lee Lafridge's color is impeccable. And as a longtime fan of Bob Haney and Ramona Fradon, I can't believe I get to follow in their footsteps. This is our take on classic DC Comics, continued Ewing, done in ones that'll satisfy discerning metamaniacs month by month as they build up to something so far out that it might just be a one-way ticket to Nowheresville for a certain freak of 1,000 changes. Who is the menacing Mr. 3? What's the sinister secret of Sugar Sweet? Who's the target of Vandal Savage's million-year revenge? All these way-out mysteries and more will be answered in the new age of Metamorpho. It's our Christmas gift to you. Are you going to buy it because Al Ewing?
I think I would be interested if it wasn't already, because I'm a sucker for modern takes on, like, Silver Era books. But yeah, because Al Ewing, I am double invested. It sounds fabulous.
Wow.
Very, very groovy. I know words. Exclusive from comicbook.com. As a child of the 90s and a lifelong X-Men fan, few characters have been able to capture the zeitgeist of action, excitement, and attitude better for me than Cable. And Mike Henderson and I are channeling that same energy in Cable, Love, and Chrome, David Pepose said in a statement. To me, Cable has always been such a fascinating and complex character, a soldier a soldier from the future who spends every day of his life battling against the ravages of the techno-organic virus with his gun pouches. For years, that's a war that Cable has waged alone. But what happens when he finally meets someone with the exact same terminal condition? Get ready for an epic sci-fi adventure that will cross the boundaries of time itself and deliver all the larger-than-life actions that every good Cable story demands. Cable Love and Chrome #1 goes on sale January 2025. Papose has been getting pretty popular lately.
Yep.
Not off the backs of his Punisher run. I've heard very little about it, but outside of that, I guess. Like, kind of in spite of it? That's like because there's no Frank Castle, it's kind of like an attention black hole, I guess. No matter, like, how good it is. I haven't read it, I haven't touched it. But, yeah, Cable, big guns, 90s.
I love the oversized gun in his right hand on this cover. It doesn't make any sense, and it looks so cool.
I also love the fact that one of his feet is out of frame, but the other one is in frame. And to be fair, if you look at it long enough, it looks funny. I can't sit here and say that I think it's an intentional poke at fucking Brain Liefeld, but it might be. I can just sit here and be smug about it because Rob Liefeld's kind of an asshole. Cable's cool, I agree. More book good.
From DC.com. Throughout DC's history, the challengers of the unknown have been on the front lines when it comes to investigating the strange and unusual. This December, these investigators of the weird make their DC All-In debut with the new Challengers of the Unknown, a 5-issue limited series written by Christopher Cantwell and art by Sean Izaakse. Spinning out of absolute power and the DC All-In special, the terror of the dark side shockwave has cascaded across the DC universe, tearing open the very fabric of time and space itself. Only one band of super scientists have the right stuff to challenge the fate of the universe, the Challengers of the Unknown. Ace Morgan, June Robbins, Prof. Haley, Red Ryan, and Rocky Davis, adventurers living on borrowed time, run day-to-day operations for the Justice League's Watchtower base in orbit above Earth, collaborating with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and the rest of the League to seal the rifts that threaten the galaxy. But a mysterious foe from the Challengers' past lurks in the shadows, and its connection to the dark side wave will put not only the Challengers but all of the DC universe on borrowed time. On sale at comic book shops and retailers digitally Wednesday, December 18th.
I have never heard of these characters before.
Me either.
But Pink Batman.
They sound like the janitors of the Watchtower.
I like that. I might get I like the team, like the creative team, quite a lot. Like a lot. And yeah, they're
you
pink.
like the pink Superman?
I like their pink outfits. Fuck me. I don't care. The article had like a metric crap ton of different artists just doing variant covers and like concept art. I don't know why they're pink. I don't care. I like it. I don't know. This sounds very Silver Agey too. Like I don't know. It sounds like a fun romp. It sounds like the Doom Patrol is hiding in the background here, like spiritually. A little. Yeah. Kind of. Also, 5 issues. I can manage 5 issues. From Marvel.com, this October, Marvel Comics reopens the Crypt with a new installment of Crypt of Shadows. They've been doing this consistently every year for like 4 or 5 years now, I think.
And you lop it up every time. Lap it up.
Oh, I don't lap it up. It doesn't. There's no opportunity for it to like drip enough for me to use my tongue to lick it, like the condensation off. Like I am just vacuum sealed on top of this thing.
Just whole mouth over glass.
Yeah, no, 100%. The hit one-shot that spotlights the mystical, monstrous, and downright terrifying characters of the Marvel Universe is back for another year of horrors, and this time around, Agatha Harkness plays Hostess. I love Hostess snacks. Introducing stories and adventures that will keep readers spooked all through the Halloween season. Spooky. Prepare to be spellbound by Agatha. Oh my gosh. I definitely didn't copy that right. Prepare to be spellbound as Agatha Harkness guides you through the danger and mystery that awaits, but beware, there's always an ulterior motive with this witch. I see what you did there. Discover what Agatha is really brewing in a delightful framing story from current Scarlet Witch scribe Steve Orlando and artist Claire Rowe. The curse of the Man-Thing, that's what I say every day before I get up out of bed, spreads from the swamp to the seas, placing him in the crosshairs of the king of Atlantis, Namor. See them duke it out in this gruesome tale from writer Benjamin Percy, Daddy, and artist Raphael Lenko. Craven the Monster Hunter, got him. The iconic Spidey villain dares to target Jack Russell, werewolf by night, literally me, but bites off more than he can chew when Blade arrives to help his old friend. To finish him off. Jesus Christ, my brain is in the gutter today. Find out who is left standing in this bloody battle, written by Jason Liu and drawn by Carlos Magno. That is a name. Joshua Joven, the seasoned monster hunter from Marvel Studios' special presentation, Werewolf by Night, makes his comic book debut in a story by writer Chris Condon and artist Gabriel Morissette. Maybe.
Don't know.
Javan falls through the last door and finds himself face to face with his greatest prey yet, the Scarlet Witch. Ooh, woo, ooh, woo, I'm buying this. I pre-ordered it already. I put it on my pull list. Every year I do this, and every year the lineup is really good.
Yep.
As usual, the creative team sound good. I have a thing. So in a recent video, favorite YouTuber of this show, Comic Drake, actually made a point that Agatha Harkness becoming young and hot and becoming like a more clear rival for the Scarlet Witch is a very good thing, actually, because it gives the Scarlet Witch a unique catalog of villains, because Agatha being an old lady is weird or whatever. Like, it doesn't fit in very well. I'll link the video or whatever. It was in like a recap of her history. But the past few years, they've been like, let's make her younger and like milfy. And
make her look like Catherine Hahn?
Yes.
Yes.
And like just explicitly a bad guy. And like, I agree. That's cool. Even if I haven't loved all of the recent stuff, comics-wise, I agree with the direction that they're taking. I think it was last year. This was hosted by like Stephen Strange's brother that was locked up in his basement or something. Might have been 2 years ago. Considering this is multiple runs of stuff that I'm already like reading that are just getting little like highlights in this book, I'm very excited. I say this every year, but I'm very excited. Spooky books make my brain happy.
You've come a long way from, no, scary!
See, I prefer spooky. I like spooky hijinks with some frights. But also, I watched The Substance last week, and I still haven't recovered from it.
So you like Scooby-Doo?
Who doesn't like Scooby-Doo? If every day was Scooby-Doo, I would be happy.
Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is my favorite horror movie. Actually, that movie is pretty spooky.
That was pretty spooky for being like 8.
Yeah. From comicbook.com, Marvel is launching a Deadpool Wolverine ongoing series in 2025. Deadpool and Wolverine are taking their love fest from the big screen to the comics page with a new series featuring the two X-Men characters. Audiences have wrapped their arms around Deadpool and Wolverine to the astounding sound of box office records being broken. Marvel Comics has provided stories for Deadpool and Wolverine audiences to seek out, such as the Deadpool Wolverine: World War II miniseries and the Weapon Extraction backup story, but an upcoming ongoing series will pair the Merc with the Mouth and Logan together as they battle a returning X-Men villain and uncover mysteries involving their shared history. Marvel's ongoing Deadpool Wolverine series comes from writer Benjamin Percy and artist Joshua Cassara. Deadpool Wolverine is a reunion between Percy and Cassara, who were the creative team that launched X-Force during the X-Men's Krakoa era.
I find it entertaining that Marvel did not anticipate how successful this movie was going to be, and they're just now launching this book.
Right.
Also, it's an easy way to loop Benjamin Percy back into writing Wolverine again after he just left.
I hope that it'll never happen. These are the dreams of a naive little boy that is hidden somewhere inside the body of an old man right here, sitting in front of you today.
Uh-huh.
It would be really cool if the next Deadpool movie was with Spider-Man, because there are ass tons of Deadpool and Spider-Man comics, and they're all very funny. That's kind of like as a teen watching the cartoons, that was kind of my introduction to Deadpool. Was he's on hijinks with Spider-Man in the... I forget what cartoons they were, but it doesn't matter. Like, Deadpool and Spider-Man make a great pair, too. And it's, I think, funnier than Deadpool and Wolverine most of the time.
I agree. I just don't think they're gonna do it.
Because Sony has rights.
I was gonna say probably more because of the age gap between Tom Holland and Ryan Reynolds. Not because, like, the actor is... Tom Holland's, like, 26. But because they... so far have refused to, like, let his Spider-Man not be a baby boy.
Allegedly, the next trilogy is when he's in college, so they could and should age him up.
I know. Trust me, I'm there. I'm just speculating because Ryan Reynolds and his Deadpool are clearly, like, in their late 40s, and it's like I feel like Disney would say no. I just feel like Disney would just put the hammer on that and be like, we can have the two old yaoi gay men doing their thing in the car, but
and both of them can say the fuck word.
Yeah, I just don't think they will. I think they should for sure. I think that Spider-Man and Deadpool are a much more,
like, even if they make it PG-13 and do the gag of, like, Deadpool gets his one fuck word and then after that he's bleeped.
Yeah.
And then, like, have him lose his shit on camera and just bleep it all out. Like, it's a great gag. It's been done before and it's funny.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree. But... the only thing that makes me, like, more interested than normal is because it's Percy. Yep. I'm not going to I might check this out when it's over. They said it's an ongoing, which is... interesting to just launch a book with, like, no end date in sight, but I don't know. I'm sure it'll be good.
They're testing to see how good it is, or how well it sells.
Probably. Right after Marvel says they're going to stop canceling things at 10 issues.
Uh-huh.
Exclusive from Deadline.com, The Boys Comics co-creator Garth Ennis and former The Equalizer co-showrunner Adam Glass are among the co-founders of Ninth Circle, a new comic book publisher focused on the horror genre. Jacob's hackles are already up, which has set horror comedy Freddy the Fix as its first title. Ninth Circle, whose co-founders also include writers
Marguerite.
That is a weird way to spell that. Marguerite Bennett, Joe Pruitt, and...
I think that's the only way to spell it.
Really?
I think so. I think you're special.
And Ram V launches as an imprint of Image Comics. Rounding out the leadership team is AB Go's Adam Bongner and TFC Management's David Stone. That's the bunny. Ninth Circle's lead investment, Kimberly Stewart, more money, and her K-Period media company will partner with Ninth Circle to produce select titles.
What are all these words? What is an ABGO and a TFC and a K-Period media?
I'm not sure. I'm just going to say those are the funding people and leave it at that.
Jeez.
Taking inspiration from Dante, who created 9 Circles of Hell in Inferno, Ninth Circle books will explore all the dark avenues of the horror genre, including the paranormal and demonic, slashers, creatures, psychological, and even a dash of comedy, all coming straight to readers from the deepest depths of hell, according to the founders. Its debut title, Ennis's Freddy the Fix, is billed as a darkly humorous and horrific series that follows Freddy, a fixer who cleans up the messes left behind by the monstrous stars of Hollywood: werewolves, vampires, zombies, aliens, boogeymen, predators, and things. See, this is the thing, you know?
You finished the article.
The series will be illustrated by Mike Perkins! Daddy. Freddy the Fix is set for release December 11th. I'm more interested in the imprint than the series in and of itself.
Yes.
But, sick.
I feel weird that it's Garth Ennis running a company. That could become cringe quite quickly.
True, but I also kind of trust his cynicism.
It is fitting that it's horror that he's focusing on.
It is most of, like, his best stuff has been horror.
We shall see. I find it strange that so many people are making their own comic companies now. Just, like, out of the blue. It's been 3 or 4, like, this year.
Mm-hmm. It is definitely a lot, but...
I just don't understand how that's more viable than going to a company and being like, I have an idea. Especially when it's big names starting these companies. Like, you would think they have weight to throw around, but...
To be fair, it is an imprint of Image, so... It sounds like it's running independently of them, but because of all the funding and stuff, but, like, it is... There's a few of them that are under Image. Image is really big these days.
Yeah.
Image is not an indie publisher at all anymore.
It's very strange.
I agree. It is weird. But maybe Garth Ennis's general cynicism leads well to being like one of the guys in charge of a company.
I don't know. We shall see.
Ramby!
Distillery still has my attention. Pretty
Yes.
hard.
Yes, very much so.
Oh yeah, it's my turn, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Speaking of Spider-Man.
From Marvel.com, Marvel Animation's Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is coming soon to Disney+, and before it does, fans can swing into these new Spidey stories in a special prequel comic book series. Written by Marvel superstar Christos Gage and drawn by rising star artist Eric Gapster, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, it's all in caps, will be a 5-issue limited series that introduces a young Peter Parker, his supporting cast, and some of Spidey's legendary villains. The comic series introduces some of the amazing adventures to come in this highly anticipated animated series that takes place during Peter's earliest days as the Spider-Man.
I'm cringing into a black hole. So the series was launched. It was announced as this is the prequel set in animation to all the Spider-Man stuff. This is his early days. And then they changed it to be this is his early days, but at a different timeline, so we're not using Tony Stark and we're using Norman Osborn.
Yep.
Which is cool, but weird. And now they're like, also, there's a prequel comic to your prequel TV show. Stop! 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 Show the origin in the fucking show and go from there. Stop pussyfooting around. See, this was the thing I was talking about. Like,
You said foot.
shut up. I don't remember when it was, but it was pretty recently where it was like this aversion to origin stories in the longer term ended up hurting them a lot more because his introduction in Civil War was cool, but then they ended up like retconning for like 8 years, like making these 3 movies fit as some sort of an origin without an origin, and like just do the fucking origin story. You don't have to do TASM and like get really into it, but like stop avoiding it just because, oh, we've seen it. Cool. Find a better way to do it. But, like, you avoiding it is causing this problem. And also, we still haven't seen any footage from this show. There's been a lot of stills, and I think the stills look pretty cool. It's coming out early next year, I think. We should be seeing footage pretty soon. This is just getting absurd. It's getting absurd. The art for the book looks fine. It's just, like, it's the prequel book to the prequel show, but it's in a different universe, so, like, fuck it. Just make it its own thing, then. If you're going to disconnect it that much, like through that many levels of obfuscation, just let this team do a Spider-Man book. Fuck it. Yeah. Oh, right. It's because Spider-Man editorial fucking sucks. To counterbalance that, I needed a positive. From comicbook.com. As part of DC's December 2024 solicitations, like me when I'm talking to hookers, DC announced Green Lantern / Green Arrow World's Finest Special #1, a new one-shot that will be released wherever comics are sold on December 18th.
Hookers solicit you?
No, I solicit the hookers.
Oh, I completely misunderstood.
My lawyer, Saul Goodman, has informed me to say that this is a joke. Written by Jeremy Adams with art by Lucas Mayer and Travis Mercer, the one-shot will reunite Hal and Oliver Queen / Green Arrow in a new adventure, continuing the legacy of Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams' beloved hard-traveling heroes run from the 70s, and the main cover is by Dan Mora, and it's so fucking good! I'm very happy about this. I'm kind of sad it's not at least a mini, but at least the one-shot's neat.
Yep.
I like this team up, and that the Hard Traveling Heroes book was like one of my entry points also.
Wow.
So also Dan Mora finally doing classic Green Arrow look. I'm creaming my pants.
This is the last piece of news. Oh my gosh.
It's been a lot of news.
An hour later.
Holy fuck. It doesn't feel like an hour actually. We've had
From Marvel.com. Marvel's Armored Avenger takes off for a new adventure this October in Iron Man #1.
That's like in a couple of days.
The new hard-hitting run will be written by Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist and author Spencer Ackerman. In his exciting Marvel debut, Ackerman will be joined by rising star Julius Ota. Winning a Pulitzer is cool and all, but it's not writing for Marvel Comics, Ackerman shared. And to write Iron Man is a very specific dream come true. A lot of comics' best creators have used Iron Man to tell big stories about security and freedom, with a whole lot of superhero action, of course, and I can't wait to build on their legacy. On how his esteemed career in journalism prepared him to take on Tony Stark's specific complexities, Ackerman added, "In my day job reporting on national security, I've covered the real-life equivalents of the Stark Expo, watched experimental weapons in action, seen their impact on human beings, and tracked the massive wealth they generate for a select few. Tony struggles with challenges and is sure about to struggle with challenges that I've covered for years. Only now I can write about them the way I've always wanted to in a superhero universe." I was already thinking that. It's like, this is the war crime journalist that's going to be writing about war crimes. But with Iron Man. Everybody glosses over that he was selling weapons. At least in the stuff that I've seen. It's like, yeah, that's in the past, but he's Iron Man now, and he does boom through the sky. But no, I want to go back to the sell weapons part.
On my pull list.
This is cool.
Also, just the team sounds good. When I was talking about Waller versus Wildstorm a few weeks ago, maybe a month.
Yep.
The Ackerman definitely has something in him that I like. I've actually been meaning to go check out his actual journalism. So there's a vibe there that I vibe with. We jive. And
it's also Julius Ota, who did a whole bunch of the recent Hellrider.
Yeah, he's been
art.
Yes, he's been recently blowing the fuck up, and I was like, okay, this guy needs some oversight, but he will be indeed cool as shit.
Yep.
So this is on my pull list, and also it's stripped down Iron Man, basic. He's just wearing metal. There's no nano blood drug special magic shit. It's just a guy in a suit who's gonna hit you in the face. It looks really fucking cool. So what the fuck have you been up to, my guy? Oh boy.
Did a book.
You did a book? I also did a book.
I did 2 books, actually. Ooh. I'll start with this one. I read Batman The World.
Oh, damn.
It's an anthology book. It's a pretty cool idea on paper. It's 1, 2...
I think it's 12.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll call it 12.
Got him.
Different stories, different creative teams making a Batman story in each of their countries. So the first story is in America, and it's by Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo. And from there, it goes around the world and has artists and story writers from whatever country they're representing telling a Batman story in that country.
Holy shit! Which ones did you like the most?
I don't know how to cover this. I was writing an ass ton of notes.
Holy
and then
fuck.
Realized it was way too much because it's an anthology series. It's like, do I talk about all of them or do I talk about some of them?
Give me your highs and your lows.
I liked France. Catwoman lures Batman into an art museum. I'm gonna guess the Louvre, but I didn't really take good enough notes. And they have a big wrestle, and Batman's like, "You're gonna piss her off," playing the pronoun game until Wonder Woman comes out. And Catwoman's like, "That was all the plan." Grabs the lasso of truth from Wonder Woman, wraps Batman up in it, and asks him a question, all whisper, 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 that we can't hear. And then he professes his love for her. And then Wonder Woman says, "Stop being gay and take her on a date, you dumb gay retard."
I remember this. Oh gosh, I forgot. This came out 3 years ago. Oh my gosh.
It was weird to follow that up with Spain, where Batman goes on a vacation. He's just like, you know what? I need a break. I'm gonna sit on the beach and drink a beer and read a book. And there's no sexy times at all. He's supposed to be billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne, and he has no sexy times at all. He just sits in his hotel room alone and bored and gets fat.
Damn.
I didn't like that one.
Relatable. You have a look.
The story in Russia felt weird. It felt very whitewashed, but there were a lot of words. It was just like, look at how happy we are in Russia. I didn't like that. It had a weird feeling to it. Germany had the Joker show up as a climate change extremist, like, political activist terrorist, and he was just like, the world's gonna burn, guys! What are we doing? It's like, what the fuck? Wouldn't he want the world to burn? No, he wants you to stop carbon emissions or something. Stop farting. That was weird. I didn't like that. Turkey starts out rough and ends with a cool twist. Poland starts well, ends with a bad twist. They were back to back. I thought that was funny.
There are other things that happened in Poland that also had a bad twist.
Grab his dick and twist it?
No, Hitler's invasion of Poland.
Oh. Mexico is a good balance between detective and spooky ghost story. I love the design of the cape. The cover is easily the best art piece from this story, but the interior art is solid too. Brazil was a pretty cool story. It was trying to get to the point of stopping a criminal, but wondering what drove him to become a criminal, drove him to that point.
Holy shit.
But then it ended kind of weak. South Korea did a really cool hallway fight scene in black and white. China was stinky. I think I say stinky like 8 times in my notes, and I'm gonna stinky. Japan was the last story. It was what I expected from this book. It looks like straight manga. It's in black and white. The story is a meta story about an artist drawing what he thinks is right despite the law shutting him down. And the artist has a conversation with Batman whether he should continue or not, to do what's right or to not do anything.
And Batman says, fuck the police.
It was very good. Overall, it's an anthology book, so it's always hard to rate it.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it like 3.5 out of 5 stars because there were more good stories than bad. If anything, it was easier to turn my brain off and just look at the pretty artwork. I really, really like that the creative teams come from their home country that they're representing. It just makes it really difficult on the writers, especially, to be like, the fuck am I gonna do with Batman in Brazil? Like,
there are thick-thighed mommies in Brazil.
Yeah, but it's not his Gotham City, and that's inherently what a large portion of Batman's character is. Just like, this is my city, and I'm gonna protect it and make sure nobody else dies ever again in Gotham. Yeah. What is he gonna do in Brazil? I don't know.
They did one of these for the Jonkler this year, I think. It might have been last year. It got way less press, but they've continued this line.
So, it's cool, I guess. Anthologies are kind of hard to find lately, so
yeah.
It's good. I think I got it half price during a Batman day at Jetpack.
Oh.
So
you got this like 3 days ago.
No, it was a year or 2 or 3 ago. I know, and I've been sitting on it because right when I got it, you were like, "It's stinky, I don't like," and I was like, "Well, shit." Yeah.
Since when do you let my opinion on anything influence you?
That's true, but you had just covered it, so I wasn't gonna cover it again. Give it space to breathe.
I love breathing. You know what else has?
Do you really though?
No, I like being choked. Whether by thighs or other things.
Feet.
No! Stop it! Stop it! I read Nocterra Volume 3, no breaks. All gas, no breaks. So this is continuing the Nocterra series. It's the 3rd collected edition. It is the end, for now. Still written by Scott Snyder, and still with most interior art by Tony S. Daniel. It picks up at issue... It's 12 through 16, as well as 2 specials, which I don't love. And then the 2 specials have 2 different guest artists. One is done by Liam Sharp, and the other one is... Francis Manipal. It's just a weird way to break it up, because they're not... Okay, so basically at the end of Volume 2, our group of our convoy of the Sun Dogs were like, yeah, we're gonna go to the place and we're gonna do the thing, and then they get fucked in the ass, and their leader dies, who was like the main character of the book, and the bad guy kind of dies, but there's a bigger threat because there's always a bigger fish, and then this, of course, because it's Scott Snyder, he can't leave anyone dead for 5 minutes. This book opens up with, see, she's got a special wetsuit now, basically. Like, she's like a void. She's not dead, somehow. It doesn't really make any sense, but she isn't. But she's dark and edgy now. And she's wearing I don't remember what they're called, but it's like a suit. It's like a wetsuit, but it's for, like, heat signatures. So she looks like a void. And then she can't be detected by all the shade monsters who are like, where are the heartbeats? I want to eat them. So the book shifts focus to her younger brother, M? I can't remember what his full name is. He goes by M, whatever. And he becomes like the new leader of the convoy. We get mostly his perspective in this book. He does a lot of the voiceover, which I thought was really cool. And it turns out also the bad guy didn't die, because the bad guy, when he died, he met the big bad guy who's a Cthulhu monster. And then the big bad guy said, I'm going to give you mega powers. And he goes, boop. And then the bad guy comes back, because of course. I say that like it's a negative, but I kind of expected it, because Scott Snyder really likes his tropes. All due respect. He's a very tropey writer. And this is one of like his special babies, so I expected him to just go all in. There is a lot of exposition in this one, just like with everything else. It has always been a weakness of Scott Snyder's. He likes making new universes, but he's very good at writing comprehensive exposition. The logic is usually fun or interesting if it's not logical to his universes, but he's always like, do you get it? And like, that's a lot of stuff to digest, especially because I haven't read Volume 2 in like a year.
I don't remember you covering 1 or 2 at all.
I did cover both, but
Whack.
yeah, it's been a while. This series has been ongoing for a while. They take long breaks. I believe it was originally through Kickstarter. Yeah, it was a Kickstarter book. At least the first one was. Whatever. They come back together. They find a new way to defeat the bad guys with the power of friendship and love and human sacrifice and stuff. I think the more interesting subplot, B-plot thing was because the focus goes from Val, like the older sister in the dynamic, to M, the younger brother, who is adopted. There's this whole backstory that we keep going back to about him being left in the middle of the road in a baby basket as a child, facing away from traffic, which is horrifying, because his parents abandoned him and he nearly died and whatever. So they try to establish this idea of, throughout the entire book, of symmetry and a nemesis, basically. Like, literally, they just say the word nemesis. So, like, say, like, theoretical science anyways, for every like star there's also like a dark matter star in the same area that we can't detect, but it's like that's what's constantly siphoning energy from that star, and eventually when it implodes, that's where it's going to go, and then the cycle kind of starts again and we get new stars, all of that stuff. So it's establishing this dynamic, whereas the bad guy Bill thought that Val was his nemesis. She was the good girl that he's going to murder because she's bad, but good, but bad. And it turns out, no, it's the little brother, because he's actually smart. He's like an actual developed character with a lot of emotional depth to him. Again, not to be rude, but a little surprising for a Scott Snyder book. He can be kind of over the top. He's very over the top. But we go back to a lot of time of him trying to connect with his adopted parents, trying to find his previous parents, and like all of this weird baggage he has going on. It's about, like touching the darkness, and to use a recent Rings of Power phrase, sometimes you need to touch the darkness to be able to fight it, blah, 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 whatever. A lot of the plotting in this one's just not even really worth getting into. It's fine. It does its job. It's literally light versus dark. It's the most explicit any theming can get. The two specials I actually thought were really cool. The one thing with them I don't like is that you can't really read the series without them. If you just read the 16 issues, you're going to be missing not a lot of context, but there is some plot progression in the two specials. They're both basically dream sequences / flashbacks, which is kind of the point of a special usually, but the framing device still moves the plot forward, and that's just annoying. The Liam Sharp one was like actually explicitly a dream sequence, and it was fucking gorgeous. Liam Sharp always cranks out good art. Nut job of a man. Francis Manipal's special was solid, just not much happened. So the first volume got a 4 out of 5 from me, and then the second one got a 3, and then this one kind of came in clutch and got a 4. It almost got a 3. It's right between the two. It's still really, really exposition heavy. But I also read it in one sitting, which I don't do with trades very often anymore. I don't know. I liked it. It sounds like they're looking to make more of this, whether with the same characters or not, I don't know. But they did the thing that James Tynion did when he finished Nice House on the Lake and was like, first cycle complete, ooh. So I think they're going to go back to this, but the last issue, I believe, was published a little over a year, maybe a year and a half ago from now. And Scott Snyder has been busy as fuck. So I don't know if they're going to go back to this or if it gets the popularity or whatever. I wouldn't mind, but I'm not dying for it. It ends in a pretty good spot for me.
Nice House on the Lake had the ooh in the note too. Spencer wasn't making that up.
No, did it actually?
Oh, God.
Hey man, you can get. I'm very gullible. You can believe me. You can bully me into believing anything.
You were talking about touching the darkness, and I have a confession to make.
Uh-oh.
In Dark Souls 3, when you talk to the Firekeeper to level up, every single time, I figured out how to skip all the dialogue that she hits you with until the last line. You don't skip that one because she says, touch the darkness within me.
Okay. You're something else.
It's funny.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. I bought it for cover price, I think from Jetpack. I think the 3 of these getting collected into like a large trade would be cool. I think that would be worth like $40, you know? I just think the 3 trades being between like $17 to $20 is a little much. They do have that looser binding that I'm a big fan of with the matte pages. It is, I think, cheaper than getting glossy pages with the tight binding, but I actually just prefer like it's not like soft binding, but like you can kind of like squeeze the book, you know? Mm-hmm. I just prefer that. It makes them look bigger than they are, but I don't feel like I'm going to damage them as easily. Whereas with the really glossy pages and the really tight like Marvel binding, I always feel like I'm going to rip the pages out on accident.
Very well. Then touch the darkness within me.
And then you level up.
Sir, you need help.
I read The Joker of the World.
Oh, motherfucker! I should have seen that coming.
It's the same premise.
Drunkler goes to Europe.
12 different stories written by different creative teams from their own country that they're representing. This one, America, is represented by Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok.
That tracks. Oh, God. Please stop letting Jeff Johns write the Joker. He's really bad at it.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Stop.
It looked good.
It's Fabok. I hate the fact that those two are a team because Fabok has 10 times the talent that Johns does.
Yeah.
It's weird. Same thing with Gary Frank, too. Like, I don't understand how Jeff Johns has as much clout as he does. Like, he has talent. He's done very good things, but he does consistently kind of just do mid.
Spain did not hit me in the balls. Whatever. Germany,
Does Joker say schnitzel?
I don't know.
Damn.
He's very flamboyant, and I don't mean that in the gay way. I just mean he drives like a giant freaking off-road SUV with emojis all over it. Like, it's wacky and weird.
I mean, that's because he was in the gay part of Germany, yeah.
There was a funny bit where he's got a hostage, and the hostage makes a joke instead of telling Joker the secret nuke codes, and Joker's like, actually, that was kind of funny, I'll allow it. But tell me what the nuke codes are! There were some pretty solid jokes in this issue. After that, a lot of the stories were just really weird. France was about a revolution because, of course.
Oui, oui.
Ooh, yeah, this one. Where is it? Mexico has, like, your favorite Batman book, Arkham Asylum, Serious House on Serious Earth, or whatever the fuck, artwork. It's really weird, and it's kind of spooky, and it's cool. Look at that. Scary. It's very scary. I liked this one, if only because it looked good.
Mexico. It doesn't have the sepia filter. How am I supposed to know where the fuck it takes place?
A lot of these I skimmed through. Turkey went way back in time, and he's like a Turkish settler from the Seven Seas or something.
What the fuck?
Oh my gosh, look at the opening text box in this. Like, so many words!
That is a lot of words.
Yeah, I skimmed through a lot of these just because there's so many words and the stories don't make any fucking sense. I liked South Korea. I meant to check Batman the World because the artwork looks the same in Batman and Joker. I really like the artwork from South Korea in both of these books. It's really soft lighting, I guess, but still really colorful. Argentina, I skimmed. I'm terrible with geography. Cameroon is in Africa, right?
Wait, what?
Cameroon?
I don't know.
Cameroon?
Cameroon.
Or is that South America?
It's one of those two.
Well, fuck. I
was homeschooled. Fuck you. I was actually pretty good at geography.
Cameroon is Central Africa. So, I found it strange that there was only one story out of both of these books that were in Africa.
It's because Joker's white.
It felt like something was missing because we do like most of Europe and South America and Asia, but Africa just got completely forgotten about.
John Clare does not like
something
African.
smelled weird between the two books.
Hey man, he's pasty white.
Okay, so Poland was after that, and then after that is Japan again. Japan's the last story. And this book was cool because it says stop right after the Poland story. This is the end of the book.
They
you
actually
need to go to the last page and read it backwards like a manga.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Nice.
I liked that. The story didn't make any fucking sense again, but you read it like an actual manga. And that's what I'm here for.
Commitment.
This book was fine. It got like a half a star less than the Batman because so many of the stories were nonsense. But yet again, what are you going to do with the Joker in Poland? Or Argentina. Like, this doesn't make
the
sense.
Nazis invaded one and then they fled to the other. Oh, I'm sorry. You can't stop me! You can't stop me!
There were two stories in here. I think they were back to back, but I forget what countries they were in. Where it was like Joker is more of an idea or a concept than an actual character. It was feeding into the society thing, but I liked those. The first one was better than the other one. The other one was like, you're close, but this is what you're trying to get. It's like he's a concept and not just a crazy guy. So that was pretty cool. Those writers did well. Yet again, it looks good, but the stories were weird. I got this for $25 at Stairway to Heaven Comics.
That's a bit, Steve.
Yes. Would not recommend at that price. But 3 out of 5 stars. It looks cool. Anthology.
Shiny. I read Jujutsu Kaisen 0, which isn't actually what it was originally called. It used to be called Tokyo Metropolitan Curse Technical School. That was its first name. But, so when this book, which is 4 chapters, got collected properly after being published in, I believe, like a regular magazine, it was so popular that the mangaka, Gigi Akutami, was basically just asked, hey, can you just do a series for Shonen Jump? You know, the manga magazine for Shonen. And then they said, well, fuck. Sure, I guess we're retrofitting this. So this is technically, it's considered a prequel because like it was published as a physical book after Jujutsu Kaisen already started, but it was originally just there, and then they made Jujutsu Kaisen out of this. Whatever. It takes place, I think, a year or two before Jujutsu Kaisen starts. So it has nothing to do with Yuji Itadori, who is, again, a great protag, but has nothing to do with him. The series follows Yuta Okatsu, a dude who becomes a student / sorcerer, who may or may not be cursed by, like, his childhood friend, Rika, who's a girl who he liked, but she's dead now. But turns out, plot twist, because you're never going to read this.
Nope.
He actually is the one who cursed her. So she's like eternally bound to him. She is like a curse. She's bad. She's icky now. She can go Joker mode.
She got cooties.
Oh yeah, she got cooties. But he basically bound her to him on accident. Like when she died, he was like, don't die. Nah, not going to happen. So then like her soul was just bound to him. And now she tortures him because...
Bro's gooning.
Yeah, I mean, he was like 11, so that'll happen. But now he's in, it's like high school-ish, something like that. So he goes to Jujutsu High, the place from the series, and he meets basically the cast of the book before it kicks off, which I think is actually really cool because I like this a lot more than I like most of Jujutsu Kaisen so far anyways.
Weird.
It makes sense. It is weird because I like... I like the protag of Jujutsu Kaisen, and I like a lot of the characters, and I love the art, but as I've said the last time I talked about it, when I talked about the first 3 volumes, the power scaling is fucking insane, and the plotting is really, really overdone, and now that I know that the manga is ending, I will definitely finish all of it. I think it's going to be a total of like 30 books when it wraps up. So I'll definitely finish it. But like, if I didn't know that was coming, I would be dropping it because it's just too much and not very well laid out so far. I also read the 4th volume, but I don't really want to talk about it because there isn't much there to talk about, to be honest. Yeah, so I think Yuta is a pretty interesting protagonist. He is fairly subdued. He's basically just depressed. He's like, yeah, my best friend died. Now she sits over my shoulder, and then sometimes she'll, like, kill people in front of me.
He's literally you.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, when he gets bullied in, like, his regular school by a bunch of his classmates, his, you know, cursed girlfriend basically shoves them in a locker, but, like, not shoving them in a locker, like, folds them into a locker. So just weird shit happens around him that he can't really control. She has a fucking insanely cool-looking curse form. It's disgusting, but it's really cool. She's, like, a weird beast thing. I just think that the character introductions were really solid for giving an idea of what... Simultaneously reading this as a standalone thing that was then given a sequel, but is considered more of like a prologue, it works well on its own and as a tone setter for what Jujutsu Kaisen would become. All of the characters that you meet in Jujutsu Kaisen are here, or at least most of them for like the first few volumes worth. The other students, the teachers, the like school administration, they're not very fleshed out, but I feel like they have a better introduction here than they do later. Probably because they were introduced here first, and then later was like, fuck, I'm gonna go back to the same place, I have to reintroduce these people. And they didn't have bad introductions, but there's just a lot of them. So yeah, there's the kid who controls his curse powers by only speaking with the ingredients of a sushi roll. And there's a panda who's a panda and talks, don't worry about it. There's a girl who doesn't actually have the ability to see curses, but she has special glasses that make her be able to see them. You know, it's the same characters. It's just like a year or two before. So there's a little bit of difference in like tone. I think the art is on par with the best portions of Jujutsu Kaisen, at least in the first few volumes. it's definitely an earlier like form of this style, but I also just like reading a one-off book where like it ends and it isn't like, and then come follow these people in this thing. And it's like, nope, this character's gone now. Like it wasn't intentionally written to be a prologue to a larger series. So I think it works well as like a self-contained nugget. Like you might actually like this. Maybe. I don't know. But like if out of the pile, if I was going to tell you to read any like ongoing shonen series, this would be the one, because then I could just give you this little nugget and then you don't have to follow it up with anything else. Everything else is like, okay, now you're reading 70,000, chapters of One Piece or whatever.
Right.
Like manga having...
That's what loses my interest quickly, is like,
There's
this
so
has been
much.
going on for 50 years.
Yeah.
Start here. It's like, nothing.
On the one hand, it's nice that there's always an easy starting point at the beginning, but it is also annoying because, yeah, a lot of series have been going on forever. And there aren't usually a lot of jumping on points. But there also just aren't a lot of single volume or near single volume manga, and the ones that typically aren't shonen for obvious reasons. Shonen are all fighting tweens, like it's a whole other genre. But I think it actually works pretty well for that. I got it for $10, which is cover price at, I think, Stairway. Yeah. I'm happy with my purchase. I'm going to read the rest of this, but very slowly. This is on the I'll get to it eventually pile, because I know it's going to end soon. So
you know who else is happy with their purchase? Our patrons!
Are they?
I hope so.
Do we send out...
They still continue to pay us.
That's true. We should send out a survey.
No, I don't want to remind them that they're giving us money.
That's
Because
true.
then it might end. Caitlin and Jeff Lawrence give us their money every week. They went to patreon.com/dimecomicbros network.
Yes. And they signed up.
Subscribed under one of the 4 tiers that they found there. They're going to get reworked soon. Don't worry about it. There's things that's happening. We're taking a big break. And don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Hey, give us money.
Go over to substack.com, subscribe to our free Substack. It's basically a newsletter. It summarizes every episode that we do, because there's some sort of script. Even if we don't have it printed out in front of us, it's in our brain. And I type it all out.
And there's pretty pictures.
It's helpful, especially on news weeks, because we definitely have a script for that, and there's pretty pictures. Usually I edit that, but Spencer edited this week's news. So, comment down below.
If it's a fucking mess, blame me.
Comment down below whose news scripts you like better, mine or Spencer's.
I'm sure that there is more than one singular human who's actually looked at the script.
Because we don't read it well, and they have to be like, the fuck are they trying to say? And they scroll down through 8 pages of news to find the one that we're trying to read and failing at.
Sean Itzakski. Yes.
Go to Jetpack. Go to Jetpack in Rochester, New Hampshire. Shop local, buy comics or magic cards or Warhammer figurines.
Right now, we are currently missing Porch Fest.
Yep.
Which is like a local music festival thingy.
Yep.
Friends of this show, Spectre Moose, are currently performing.
Yep.
We could be there, but we're not cool. We weren't invited.
We were behind the times and had to record this in like a 10-minute window that I had.
Yes.
We're very productive in those 10 minutes.
Yes, I just like bullet timed us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next week is gaming. And after that is Marvel Black, White, and Blood. Marvel Zombies. Black, White, and Blood.
Oh shit, you right.
I know.
Oh shit! I had something I was going to say, and then I forgot what it was, but it was funny, and I wanted to say it again.
Our patrons get access to all kinds of things, including Happy Hour, which is what we're going to record right now, unless Spencer can remember the thing that he was going to say.
Scrub-scribed.
He's too busy stroking out.
Oh, I'm stroking really bad today, man.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy Hour is where we talk about random bullshittery. Sometimes we'll make an epic tier list or talk about the conflict in the Middle East. It could be anything.
I have a thing I want to talk about.
Oh, motherfucker. Of course you have a thing.
It's another anthology.
Oh, gosh. Oh, fuck.
It's been really hard keeping all my notes straight because I've been reading so many anthologies.
And to be fair, it is no longer Sober September. It's still technically September when we're recording this, but it's spiritually October now.
Yes.
So Spencer is having a cider.